So hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Akshay Rathod and today we are going to see how we can create centOS operating system or centOS virtual machine on Microsoft Azure cloud. So for that, in the previous video I have shown you how we can create Microsoft Azure free account. So open your Microsoft Edge and search for Azure login. So it will redirect you to the page azure.microsoft.com. So this is the site for the Azure portal. So here you need to click on the sign in button. I have already saved my credentials, so it will automatically sign in me, but you need to sign into your Microsoft account for this. Okay, so I will show you my subscription, and here you can see my free trial subscription is currently going on. You can see I have 14,320 Indian rupees INR in my account, and this is a free subscription that has $200. Okay, so you can see I have already created one virtual machine previously for my personal work. So I am going to show you. So this is the portal menu, and this is the dashboard menu or main menu for Microsoft Azure portal. Here you can navigate to home, all services, dashboard, all resources, and specific important services of Microsoft Azure portal. This is the home page of Microsoft Azure portal. Okay, and here you can see this is the machine I have already created in the Hadoop_RG resource group. So click on the portal menu and click on all resources. So here all the important resources that Microsoft will provide are listed here. We are going to create a virtual machine, right? So you can categorize those resources from here, like computing, networking, storage, etc. So here on the top pane you can see virtual machine. You can search it as well, right? So it will list all your virtual machine. So click on the plus icon and create button. So here this is the main steps through which we are going to create virtual machines. So we need to go through this basic, disk, networking, management, and advanced, tags, and a review. So this is the information we have to fill, right? So first of all we need to choose our subscription. So I have choose my free trial subscription. After that you need to choose the resource group. If you are doing it first time, you don't have any resource group. Okay, so you can hit on the create button and create a resource group, as I am creating my VM_RG. This is my new resource group name. Okay, after that we need to give the name to our virtual machine. So this is virtual machine name. So let's give a name to our virtual machine, my Linux VM. Okay, so it will show me the error because we cannot use the special character, so I have used here underscore sign. So let's rename it my VM1. Okay, so this is the acceptable name. After that, region, you can choose the region which is nearest to you and which is allowed to create the virtual machine. So if you are doing it for the production purpose, so let's see, I am going to select the North Europe region. Okay, availability options. So in the Azure, for the availability purpose, there are some specific services provided, such as availability zones and availability sets and virtual machine skill sets. Currently I am not choosing anyone, so I will click on the no infrastructure redundancy required. Okay, after that the security type is standard. By default, image it's selected as Ubuntu 20.04 for me. So in this lecture we are going to install centOS operating system. You can see here various operating system are listed here, such as SUSE, Linux, Oracle VM, and Windows Server 2019 and all. So you can see here centOS base free trial allowed. So I will select that image centOS base 7.9 generation 2 free trial allowed at VM. Okay, you can choose the architecture, VM architecture, either it may be ARM based or x64, which is Intel architecture. Okay, then here size of the virtual machine, by default it will choose the free virtual machine, that is B1S, which has one virtual CPU and 1 gigs of RAM. But I am going to choose the standard, that is D2S V3 virtual machines, which has two virtual CPUs and 8 gigabytes of RAM, and you can see it will cost me near about 5000 rupees per month, Indian rupees per month. Okay, after that you need to choose authentication ways. First one is the SSH one and the password one. So keeping this tutorial simple, I am going to select the password authentication here. We need to provide the username for virtual machine. So I am going to add Linux user is the username for the virtual machine. Then after password, so enter the password which can qualify all the details or all the criteria that are the basic password required. So I am going to create a password here. So confirm the password by adding the confirm password field. After that, inbound port rules. So basically we can do this in the networking tab as well, but I am going to select the inbound port here. So as you can see, select inbound port, already SSH for port 22 is selected. So you can select all the ports, that is HTTP for web protocol and HTTPS, that is port 443 as well. But right now I am going to select the HTTP port. Actually we need not required for this. So after this I am going to hit on the next button, which is the disk section. Here you can see the OS disks, which is also an important part, which is selected by default, that is premium SSD here. So this is the premium SSD. You can select other type also, standard SSD and standard HDD as well, depending on your requirement. Okay, then after encryption type, so hard disk encryption type, so it's default encryption. I am not going to mess with it right now to keep the tutorial simple. And if you want to add some external disks, so from here you can create and attach external HDD or the SDDs for your virtual machines. Click on the next, which is the networking. So in the networking tab, it will create a virtual network or VNet group for us. So it will by default created if you don't have, otherwise if you have, you can select that virtual network as well. Then subnet mask, you can see here it is default 10.1.0.0/24. We will see what exactly all this in further networking tutorials. Public IP address, okay, so it has one public IP address. It is important because through this IP address we are going to connect to our virtual machine, right? You can see public inbound ports that we have already selected in the basic section. Okay, and all other settings are here. Okay, so this is load balancer setting. Right now we don't require this. So click on the next, which is the management. So in the management, you can do various types of things. You can assign roles and other things. So here you can see Azure Active Directory and identities are there, and also you can specify rules for backup and guest OS option. So I am going to hit on the next button, which is the monitoring section. This section will help you to create the log and when your machine is starting and shutting down and all the logs to maintain that. I am going to hit on the next right now. So this is the advanced section. Here you can manage various applications that you want to pre-installed in your virtual machine. So you can add the scripts to install the application as well. So I am going to hit on the next. So here is the tag. So I am going to hit on the next right now. You can add the tags if you want. So this is the review and create section. So here it will show you all the requirement and it will verifies all the options that you have selected. It will throw you an error if something is missing, and it will show you This is 7.79 rupees per hour I will be charged for this machine to be active. Okay, so I will scroll down little bit and you can see here all the options and settings we have enabled in previous states are listed here. Okay, so I will hit on the blue create button, so it will started the initializing deployment. Okay, and it will prompt a message on the notification panel as well, that is initializing deployment. And deployment is in progress. You will be redirected to this page. As soon as this page will come, you can see the notification in the notification panel, and there also the notification is deployment is in progress. Okay, so it will create the various services that are required with virtual machines one by one. You can see here it will take 2 to 4 minutes to set up all the virtual machine. Okay, now you can see our virtual machine is set up successfully. Either you can click on this go to resource button and it will redirect you to your virtual machine page, and here you can see all the details are mentioned here, that is resource group name, your machine status is currently running, the location of the machine is North Europe, subscription ID, and all other details are here. You can see the operating system, that is centOS, size of your virtual machine, public IP address that we required for logging to our virtual machine, and DNS name as well. So I will show you the other things. If you are in your home page, so it will locate your virtual machine there as well. Otherwise you can select the resource group and you can categorize your resource group. So here our resource group is my VM_RG. As soon as you click on this resource group, you can see all the devices are here that are created with virtual machine. The first one is virtual machine, then public IP address, network security group, network interface, OS disk, and virtual network. These are the essential component for our virtual machine. So I will click on the virtual machine and let's try to log in to our virtual machine. So I will click on the start. You can use putty or git bash as a terminal to log SSH to your virtual machine. So I am going to use git bash. Okay, so let's increase the font so that it is visible for you, and let's I will increase the size of my git bash terminal as well, so we can see the commands properly. Okay, so we need to enter the command ssh space, then our username, that is Linux user @ and then we need to add the IP address. So I will copy the IP address and paste the IP address here, and I will hit on the enter. So you can see you need to say yes to this. So it will prompt you for password, so enter the password that you have created at the time of creation of VM. So I will enter the password. Okay, and I will hit on the next. So you can see Linux user @myVM. So we are currently logged into our VM. So let's check who am I. So it will say that you are the Linux user. Then let's check where we are actually. Let's try to log in as a root. So su dash. So it will ask for password, but I didn't remember the password for the root right now. So let's try. Okay, authentication failed. Okay, anyways, so let's go to the root directory with cd/ and let's run the command ls space -l and hit on enter. It will list all the folders and files in the root directory. You can see from bin, boot, dev, and etc, and all the directories are listed here. So in this way we can access our virtual machine, Linux virtual machines, and you can do what you are doing with your virtual machine in your system. So I will close the virtual machine and close the session. So the first main thing, you will stop your virtual machine whenever you are not using, to reduce the cost you want to pay to your Azure services. Otherwise, if you don't want to use this virtual machine, and then you can delete the virtual machine as well. So you can delete the all the parts that are created with virtual machine one by one. Otherwise, you can delete the resource group itself. So I will show you. So let's go in our resource group. So this is my VM underscore RG is our resource group. I will select all the components that are created with virtual machines, and here on the top panel you can see delete resource group. So here we need to confirm resource group name, that is my VM underscore RG. Okay, and hit on the delete. So it will delete all the components which are created with virtual machine, and it will show you there in the notification panel. So this is how we can create a virtual machine in Microsoft Azure portal, and we install a centOS 7 in the virtual machine. So if you have any queries related to it, so feel free to ask the questions in the comment section below. I am going to create a Discord community as well as Telegram groups most of the till the next week, so we can discuss there as well our problems and solution. So we will meet in the next video. Till then, happy coding.